Well, hello, everybody. My name is Brigadier General Darrell Cross of the Canadian Armed Forces, and I want to just talk a little bit about this long road to the Invictus Games The Hague. It is about resiliency challenged. If ever there's been a time in recent history where resiliency has been challenged, it is here with facing a persistent, pervasive threat that really affects all of us. And in the midst of all of that, members of the Canadian Armed Forces, just like all militaries around the world, can continue to conduct their critical missions at home and abroad, undertaking operations that they could never have imagined here in Canada, working in long-term care facilities, assisting with the distribution of vaccines, and going out and providing those vaccinations themselves. Members continue to rise to the challenge, regardless of the context. They continue to give of themselves, and by extension, they give of their families, despite that threat, and for this first time, conducting operations when the threat really is to their family, while they have to depart on operations. And this is the essence of where Team Canada comes from. They're derived of our Soldier On program here in Canada. In Soldier On, they're on a journey of healing through the power of sport, recreation, and recently creative arts. They've had no benefit of any camps, and for team preparation, the opportunities have been little to none. Yet they've stayed the course through uncertainty, and they're ready. They're ready to go to Invictus Games The Hague. And with Invictus Games The Hague, we will celebrate them and those they represent for their spirit, their grit, and their determinations. Congratulations and thanks to the Invictus Games Foundation, the Invictus Games The Hague organizers, for their resiliency, their perseverance, their positivity, inclusivity, and the ongoing coordination that they have openly shared with all of us. Thanks to you as well, the Invictus Games The Hague participating nations, for equally persevering, preparing your teams and enabling them to participate in these games. The members of Soldier On, from amongst whom were selected Team Canada, their family members and friends, and the entire Canadian Armed Forces look forward to these games and the competitive yet kindred spirit they engender. Until then, we wish you and yours good health and happiness. Thank you, and God bless.
The Invictus Games to me are beyond medals, but the day I won my gold medal was actually the 5th anniversary of the day I was sitting in laying in an operating suite, having my spine fused back together after a traumatic injury on board a ship. And that 5th anniversary of having hardware put in my back, instead I was having hardware put around my neck. And to see how far I've come in such a short period of time, when I wasn't given much options in my future about walking or anything, I get goosebumps just thinking about it, because if I can do it, anybody can do this.
I'm Junior Goss, a veteran of the Canadian Armed Forces Military Police Branch. I had a wonderful opportunity to serve with the Army, Navy, and the Air Force during my career, and I was transferred from coast to coast in Canada and did 2 overseas tours in Somalia and Iran. I was injured while serving Canada, and my years of frontline policing and tours in Iran and Somalia took its toll on my physical and mental health to the point where I needed intervention. When I was selected for the Invictus Games, I was on disability from work and being helped daily by medical professionals, and I was not in a good place. With the COVID-19 pandemic ongoing, the competition dates changed twice. And although the on-again, off-again dates were somewhat upsetting, the added training time to me was a real bonus. This is my first time being a participant at such an event, and I am thrilled to have been given this opportunity. With being selected, I was immediately motivated to take on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I thought to myself, I'm going to get out of this what I'm able and willing to put into it. So my journey began. I was selected for 3 sports: cycling, swimming, and wheelchair basketball. I had a little bit of experience with cycling and swimming, and no experience with basketball, and I had never sat in a wheelchair. I began preparing by purchasing a mountain bike, to find out later that it was not the ideal bike for road racing. a proper road racing bike was purchased from Daigle Cycles, and it was like, wow, this is a beautiful bike. I didn't know how the pedals and shoes clipped together, how they worked, and I learned a lot from helpful teammates and coaches. I was able to get involved with a Nova Scotia wheelchair basketball team and had my first lane swim ever. My initial reaction to this was overwhelming. Thank goodness for the help and patience of the Team Canada coaches and my teammates who provided me with a wealth of information on my sports. It was now up to me to take this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and reap its benefits. I can remember the feeling of my first bike ride and barely making it to the end of my street before I was beat out. I struggled to swim a length of the pool, and moving around in a wheelchair was one thing. Doing it while bouncing a basketball, well, that was something else. I thought to myself, I'm never going to be able to master this. I'm a true believer in physical activity and recovery through sport, and it's easy to get yourself into a rut. It takes tremendous effort to dig yourself out. The training for the Invictus Games has given me the incentive to get active. It was tough going at first, but I pushed on. After the first couple of weeks, I realized the benefits of becoming active, and I began feeling better despite my injuries. I began to move around, and I started to look forward to a workout in the pool and a bike ride. The training was a great motivator to do more, and I continue to make a point of finding time in my day to be physically active. It's certainly not easy at times, but it beats sitting around moaning about my ailments and feeling bad because, well, I'm feeling bad. Team sports can be very rewarding. You meet new people, and it's a great way to turn your mind to some fun and camaraderie while at the same time being physically active. Wheelchair basketball is a great sport, and I'm always in awe of those who are bound to a wheelchair but are masters at this sport. I've watched previous Invictus Games on TV. The inspiration I got from watching these athletes overcome the injuries they endured while serving their country and see the joy on their faces. It's a feeling that is often sought by people but seldom achieved. These men and women have been through some tough times. They were an inspiration for me to look back on my challenges and do something about it and make a better life for myself and my family. I'm really looking forward to attending the Invictus Games in The Hague in April of 2022. I intend to be competitive there and interact with the athletes who have served their respective countries. They were injured as a result of that, but found a way not to let their injuries define them. The True Patriot Love Foundation and the Canadian Armed Forces, the Soldier On program, the leadership, the coaches, and the will of the Canadian Armed Forces to support injured people like myself is truly remarkable. The Soldier On program has provided inspiration, motivation, and hope that I can overcome my physical, mental health injuries and live a healthier and more active lifestyle. I hope that I can be an inspiration to others who are struggling and help them find a way to heal. I feel I can always do better, and if I put my mind to it, great things are possible. I'm inspired and motivated to continue this journey to The Hague and beyond, and I believe you too can find the strength to soldier on.